hope you'll find the cure. Revealed in time. The lesson love will be for sure. While we're on this journey through many of its struggles and strife, love will bring us pleasure, the peace and joy.
Well, hello, good people. Welcome to the Healing Vine podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Hancock, and it's a delight to have you here. If you like what you listen to and see today, please hit the like button and the subscribe button, as you will find out new content that I will be posting every single week. I am so delighted to share with you some insights and information and just wonderful sisterhood commentary with my good friend Shahada James. She is a legend in theater and music in this community, and she shares the top 3 things you should know as an artist to perfect your craft. And she also gives some historical documentation and setup with how just vast and varied and exciting her career has been. Join me in my conversation with Shahada James. Okay, so welcome to the Healing Vine podcast. And I am so excited because I got my sister friend here with me today, Miss Shahada James. And I don't know if you know her, but you should, because she's amazing, talented, wonderful. And we're going to talk about some specific things today. But I want to just, give the people who haven't had the experience of knowing you, just let them know a little bit about your background. You're a singer, you're a writer, you're an actor, you're a dancer. You've traveled all over the planet. And so give us that capsulized version of your legacy.
I don't consider that a legacy.
But it's so what you have, your body of work and what you've done. I think there are a lot of people that look at it that you may not even be aware of. And you paved the way for a lot of young performers that are around in this town right now. You broke ground with the Black Theater Company in this town, at Lowenstein, and at different venues all over the place. And you've worked with veterans that are still working today.
Still working.
So share a little bit about that with us.
Ooh, where do I start? Well, oh boy, that was way back in the 70s. I'm dating myself, but that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Started with Mr. Joda, Mr. Adetunji Joda. And I started actually in school first, but I always loved theater, always loved dance, always was acting out at home and everything. And so when I got the opportunity to perform, I started with African dance because that was just something about that just pulled me right into it. And we used to perform all over Colorado. Then from there, I went to, Cleo had it was called Model Cities. And I went down there. This was before they even got real big yet. And they would teach dance down there. And I'd go there, I think, once a week or something. And during that time is how I met Jo Bunton Keel. She was this bald-headed woman, and oh my.
Yes, she was a force. Yes.
So we became good friends. And then from there, we started working at CSU Family Action Center. She was the director there. And I started teaching dance to the little preschoolers and made a lot of good friends back then. And then along comes John McCallum with a group, with his own company that he was forming called the Denver Black Arts Company. And he put together all these people who really weren't actors, but he brought us all together and we started rehearsing on this show called The Hobbit, okay? Well, let me take it back a little bit. We were all dancing and doing whatever, preparing. And I remember Joe Keel and him called me into their office and they said, well, we've decided what role you're going to play. And I was like, okay, go ahead. I was just all happy just to be in the show. And they said, "You're going to play Bilbo Baggins." I said, "Okay, can I go now?" And they were like, "Wait a minute, do you know who Bilbo Baggins?" I said, "Okay, tell me a little bit about it, okay?" Because I had never read the book. And so little by little, okay, so then they said they chose me. I think they chose me because I was short, but also, no, I'm not going to diminish that. They chose me because I could sing, dance, and act.
Well, you were a triple threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got that position to be in the show, and we went on to have a successful run.
Mm-hmm. And that was unique because this is an all-black company doing J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And that you broke some ground doing that.
We definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And the amount of dedication and commitment that we had to this show was amazing. I mean, everybody literally gave up their lives. I mean, you did what you did to work and everything, but there was so much commitment to this to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And from way back then, of course, we formed some really close camaraderie, friendship, family, love. There was so tight, tight group. And I think we broke ground. Ground for the ones that were coming later. And that's just, for me, that was very amazing.
So you're a native of Denver?
No, I was born in North Carolina.
Really? So how did you get here? So your mom moved here and you came. So did your formative years, your high school, college?
Everything was pretty much here. She brought us here when I was probably maybe first grade.
Okay. Okay. And so Denver is where you bloomed.
Well, yeah. I mean, we lived in some outskirt towns and stuff, but we eventually ended up in Denver, Colorado, and I grew up on the east side, and you saw it.
You saw it?
That's pretty much where my roots were until later on. Then, we moved so much, but that's all good.
So when you think about art as it relates to how it grew in the city, particularly among the Black community, would you consider yourself a pioneer?
Yes, I would.
Because I think of the names, like your name comes up, Joe Button Keel's name comes up, Donnie Betts comes up, Hugo Sal, John Sal's comes up. There's quite like a core group of people, Jimmy Walker, Vince Robinson. I mean, all these names of people who you may or may not know, but they are instrumental in ensuring that these young people coming along today have spots. And which isn't to say it's any easier. It's just is. It just is. And what I appreciate is that you pioneers you carved out your niche using your own companies. So tell me about some of the unique struggles and triumphs that you had in those days, because I'm sure you were doing this with little or no budgets.
Right. Right. Very little. A lot of it was done pretty much people were, funding their own. You had to fund your own. You didn't get grants. There was nothing like that. Raising money, fundraiser, whatever we did. Like I said, it was a lot of commitment and time and energy and heartbreak and laughter and love. And I mean, there's nothing like it when you're like you say, starting that core that from the ground up. But yeah, it's
some of the places that you guys performed at, some of the venues. I know some of them don't exist today, but I think of the Lowenstein Theater or Bonfils Lowenstein. I always, because when I came to Denver, it had, the names were a little bit different. But tell me some of the venues that you guys had the opportunities to perform at back then.
Well, we started at the CSU Family Action Center, which is right there. I don't know if it's there anymore, but where the Clayton College is?
Yeah.
We had a whole building.
Oh, wow.
That's where we rehearsed. That's where people that were artists were there. There was photographers, there was poets, there was Opalanga. There was the Black West Museum was upstairs. We had a whole area where it was for dance theater, and out of that birthed Movement Free Dance Company. And so that was a whole other area. Now, we didn't really start. I started in Daft, which was another play that John McCallum had wrote back in the day, then moved into The Hobbit. So by that time, it just was expanding and growing and everything. So, yeah.
It was a very fertile time, wasn't it? Because you find that when your struggle makes you be innovative in ways that I think sometimes are missing, because you find ways to make things happen with little or nothing. And I think about on Welton when the Eulipians company, when we were in that little space on Welton up above the bank. And we did Black and Blue, I think it was, and Harlem, Sweet Harlem. We did and I played Billie Holiday. And we were like, there was like 20 of us crammed into a space that was like the size of a shoebox, and we changing closets. And at one point, we just forgot. It's like, I'm just going to take my dress off, and it's like there was no weirdness. Those quick change. You knew how to do it. You had to do it without talking because the audience was literally on the other side of the curtain. So you couldn't be back there goofing off. You had to you had to get it done.
Be in character, Joe Kiwood and yeah.
Oh yeah. Stay in character. Yeah. Don't you're there from the time the audience sees you till the time they don't see you. All the way up. No matter what happens, keep doing the show.
That's
right. What is one of the most, I know The Hobbit was a pivotal role for you, but and you got a lot of press for the Hobbit role, and tell me how you prepared for that, because when you got hired for it, you were like, I don't even know what that is, to being the person who they named in the magazines and in the paper.
Okay, how I prepared for The Hobbit. Do you remember Jamal Wilkes?
Yeah,
he was called the Silk.
Yeah.
Well, we became friends because at that time I had become Muslim, and he had come to the mosque. He had traveled from LA, and he took me and my daughter Nicole up to the mountains, and I did my character study up in the hills, pretending just trying to imagine what it would be like out there in little caves or whatever. And so that's where I started with that. I literally did my whole character up there, and they were cracking up at me, but I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Oh man, you really invested in it. I mean,
did.
And you think actors, I don't know, it takes, like you say, commitment, dedication, perseverance, and really wanting to bring your best to the role. And whatever it takes to do that doesn't cause you harm, is really important, so that you can bring that character to life, because that's really you. It's all you.
Well, I learned that because when we were studying, I forgot what the name of the term is. There's a term for people when you're being realistic.
Oh, like method acting? Yes.
That's what that was. And I remember a lot of times, in that show, because all of us mostly were women that played some of the roles, we had to do some method acting and start learning how to sit like men, walk like men,
do all those men mannerisms.
And but that took some time, and then not only from there, then developing voices. Some of the, it was so thorough. It was from your voice to your look to your walk to all of it. There was nothing left untouched. You had to create a character. It wasn't you.
Yeah. So, right. And I think you take such a deep dive when you're doing that, and that takes you out of yourself and places you somewhere else. And the person who's really good at that is Dwayne Carrington.
Oh my God.
He did a play for us last year with the characters that played animals. And he had those actors crawling on the floor, barking like dogs. I mean, all of that stuff.
That comes from all of that from way back. I mean, he was part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just when you think of art, it defies class, color, geography, economics. It's the one thing, art, that pulls us all together and that we can speak to each other on so many different levels in that way. And so when you look back on that time, what would be your takeaway and what would be the advice you would give a young performer who may be just in college or just starting out and they know that it's in their guts, that they just got to do this?
They get bit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Comes from a very deep heart and soul place. You can't pretend. I mean, acting is pretending, yes, but when you are creating, it comes from way deep inside, and you should not be recognized on stage. That should not. When I went to see someone once, Juanita Jacobs, she was doing a show. I was sitting in the audience watching this show and didn't even know it was her on the stage. And I worked with her. And all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, wait. She was so totally into character, voice, walk, dress, makeup. I mean, everything. And I was just blown away.
Mm-hmm.
I said, now that's what I want.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. And that's a thing that impacts you for years and years.
Things like that I'll never forget. Mm-hmm. I remember Vince Robertson once saying, there are no small roles, because we had done ceremonies in Dark Old Men, and he wanted to be in it so bad. He just, let's just give me a little part. And so he did a role. The role he did was to just come on and knock on the door and get some wine. It was like what is that?
Like a speakeasy kind of thing?
Not the speakeasy, but the gosh, what is it called? Where you go get drinks and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Anyway, he literally stole the show in that moment, just because of what he did, how he did it, and had people rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And but he like you said, there's no small role,
right? So every role is important. So don't be mad if you're in the chorus.
Yeah, don't be mad, because every piece of it is a puzzle and it all comes together. And if you're not fitting in there, then you're not making the whole show to be one body,
Mm-hmm.
It's like an ensemble. That's what we do. We work as an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
everyone's important.
Everyone's important.
Even backstage, people are important.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that just leads me to think about what would be the top 3 things that you would tell someone. Now, number 1 would be committed and know your stuff. Mm-hmm. And what would be the second thing?
Study your craft.
Study.
Yeah, study your craft. Know why, purpose, having purpose in it, but definitely studying your craft and only get better from there. Study under people that have already gone before you and are willing to share and mentor you into another level. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
And if you had a third thing, what would that be?
Did I only tell you 2?
Yeah.
Would be a third thing.
I would think it might be see other people do the craft too and take notes. Because I know with some people, everybody has a different method of doing things. Yeah. And, you can't get, you tend to see people in roles and you see the same person and it gets kind of a little bit stale and you're like, wait a minute, I saw you when you played that role and this
looks the same.
Yeah, you're the same guy.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that same guy to this role?
Because they haven't got deep down inside and searched who this person is. And they're just play acting, as far as I'm concerned.
So character studies
is so important.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It makes all a world of difference. Mm-hmm.
So wasn't that a great conversation with my good friend Shahada James? If you have some comments or if this has sparked some thoughts that you want to contribute, feel free to like and put some comments below. I love to hear really good, positive insights from everyone in the audience. Stay tuned as we will be bringing new content every week. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you and keep you in his perfect peace as your heart and your mind are stayed on him. God bless you.